Yeah, I recently got into surfing. A friend taught me how, and first time I went out, I was terrified. Mind you, I'm not a very good swimmer. I did have to
Mhm.
learn how to swim. It was
Uh-huh.
a requirement to join the army.
Yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't consider myself very strong, so not very confident either. Um, but I started traveling a lot for work, and one of the unfortunate places I had to go to was Hawaii for work.
How dare
So
they?
I know, right? It's terrible. So a friend taught me how to surf when I was out there, and I was like, man, this whole time, like, I hope he forgets. Like, I don't want to go out there. I want to do this, and it's new, and I've never done it before. But at the same time, I'm like, fuck, I'm so scared, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen if I fall in there and I forget how to swim, and like,
Mm-hmm.
game over. But we did it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. And
Oh,
although it didn't get up the first time, like it was cool. It was a cool experience. So after that, I caught the bug, and now, I'm not a pro, but it's just
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new epi, searching for a fade fiend, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talking with Donato.
welcome in everyone. Episode 117, Gab Gift of Gab, with our guest, Gaby Ramirez. Gaby Ramirez. I'm so curious though. Already, I want to jump in, and you didn't feel any pressure to go with two B's in the Gabby? Like you hold strong to the one. Is that normal?
you know, growing up, I always just wrote it with one B.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And my whole life, everyone's asked me the same thing. And I don't know, two felt like too much, maybe.
Yeah. But, so what's comfortable though? Do you go by Gabriella? Do you prefer Gabby? Where do you stand at with it?
Definitely Gabby. It's quicker. It's probably easier to remember. And Gabriella just seems too formal. So we'll let the government have that one.
I like it. All right. So for our listeners, we gotta get this started right away. Where are you from? Like, where did you grow up at?
I grew up in a small town in Lawndale, California. So it's right near the South Bay, kind of borders the Torrance, Redondo Beach area. So,
I have I have Longdale. That's the name of it.
yep,
I've never heard of that.
Lawndale.
I lived in SoCal. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, your high school. How many people were in your graduating class?
So I actually went to a high school outside of my town. I went to North High. We
Mhm.
had about 2,000, 2 to 3,000 kids.
I'm sorry, graduating. I like senior year.
Senior year, no, my class, I'm sorry. So that was like the
Oh,
school size.
oh,
My
okay, okay.
class, we had about, was it 2 to 300 kids, I believe?
Okay, okay, that's not too bad. I graduated with
Yeah.
about the same, so I'm going to judge it off of that. Now, we normally get to this a little bit later, but I got to know now since we're on the school thing. It's senior year. You just went through the lunch line. Now, even if you brown bagged it, just stay with me. You come out with your tray, the lunch guy in his hairnet, cigarette hanging out. It's not lit, but that guy, schlop, puts that chili on your plate. You're gonna eat it because you got that 17-year-old stomach, and you don't care what's gonna happen later. You walk out. What table are you sitting at?
So I was kind of a kid that knew everybody, got along with everybody, but I definitely chose my specific, I guess, clique, if you will. I was in junior ROTC, so I definitely went back to. We had kind of like our own space, a little room that we'd all hang out at. And even though
Mm-hmm.
I spent majority of my time there, I always went back to lunch to have lunch with everyone there. And it was kind of like the melting pot. So you even had like football players, the cheerleaders, like everyone kind of graduated or gradually went over to that spot
Yeah.
to also hang out with us as well. So it was kind of interesting, even though we were kind of looked at as the weird kids, J Rotzi
Yes.
at the high school. Everyone wanted to hang out with us in a weird way. So that's where I spent most of my time.
I'm gonna back up here. We're staying on high school for a second here. All right. Were you voted anything or in the running to be voted Miss Congenial? I don't know. Were you in the running for anything?
No, definitely not. I mean, everybody knew of me and about me, but because I was so focused on ROTC, I didn't really have time to do like that ASB and like run for like class president and all that stuff
Yeah.
because that was taking up time on its own. So I didn't have time to do that stuff since I was mostly doing the ROTC stuff. So
Oh, I respected the ROTC kids. I remember we would have track meets. I'd go to a track meet, then come back from the track meet, and sometimes some of our ROTC kids were still out there flipping weapons and marching around.
yep.
Nothing but respect. And
Yeah.
then sometimes they do some early morning stuff. Like, if we have an early morning practice, sometimes I'd see them out there doing this is high school. And
Yeah.
they're doing, I mean, it should have been, we should have always viewed it, my opinion, we should have viewed that as like a varsity sport. I know y'all go off and do I didn't do it, but you guys go off and do like competitions. I went to one in Daytona Beach, Florida. I think when maybe you were a kid too, it was in Daytona, right? Has it
Yeah.
always been
Yeah.
like, yeah.
No, they had Daytona. It was like the Nationals is what they called it. And then we
Yes.
also had one
Yes.
at our school called like it was national or like pre-national. So if you went to like this competition, then you would qualify to go on to the Daytona one. And it was this whole thing. And like looking back now, I'm like, man, why did I do this? It was just so much time like that I put
Yes.
into it. And for what? I'm not really sure. But I mean, I learned a lot along the way, so I can't say it was for nothing. But
Here's what I can tell you though. I didn't know we were gonna go down this path, but yeah, it's my pod, it's your life. We're gonna talk about it. I believe to kind of what you're saying, sometimes the junior ROTC group is, I'm gonna say, ostracized. They're not always the coolest people. And we all need to belong and be a part of something. And if for no other reason, that is the number one value of it. And then if they can get some people like you who are well adjusted, who could have been in other cliques and other things, it only helps them. And then lastly, I've seen them in action at that national competition. I think I've gone twice. Seeing them in their element, they're just this, again, my opinion, they're just as awesome as the football players that play in the national championship, someone that won the Heisman. Because if you can't flip something over your head and then turn around and grab it behind your back, do stuff blindfolded, I mean, they're like super junior ROTC ninjas. I mean, they were doing stuff blindfolded,
and those
I
things were like
respect
15 pounds. 15 pounds.
and they're that heavy. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's just compare that. The drum majors, majorettes, I think, the baton twirlers on the football team. We think they're awesome. That thing weighs what, 8 ounces?
Yeah.
that weapon that they throw is like 15 pounds. Yo, I want to go on record. I need to do something. I need junior ROTC units around the nation to get more love. I'm going to fight for it. Taking up the cause. Yeah. I'm not saying you got to come with me, but if I need like a word, I could use you. Like I could do a call back. Okay,
totally,
good.
Man.
Good. Because I think a lot of people will be like, "Yo, bro, did you even do it?" I was like, "Nah," but I know somebody. I know Gaby from Lawndale. Y'all know?
Yep.
Oh, you ain't heard of her? All right, so such a small school then, or small town. I'm not gonna say it was a small school. It sounded like a small town. Did y'all ever really get the rep? It sounds like bigger schools in bigger cities would dominate. Did y'all make your mark?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we did as far as like sports and everything else goes.
Yeah.
It's funny because I went to North, and so there was obviously a South and a West High, and then there was the
Oh,
Torrance High. So that was kind of like the community of high schools that were battling against each other.
hmm. Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
we were the diverse one and the better
I'm
one, of course.
I'm from back east, and we always know if someone says West, y'all, West Side, first thing they think is like California, where I'm from. And y'all literally, of all the names, did y'all run out of names? I know California is a big state. North, West, South. That's so boring.
Yeah,
Why? I don't.
no idea.
Okay, North High. Tell me one distinguished alumni. Anybody I might have heard of? Anybody you remember that graduated out of there?
Yeah, gosh, there was that wrestler that went to North High.
Oh,
I forget his
now you
name.
have my. Wait, like the real wrestler or the Hulk Hogan wrestler? Because if
I
it's
forget his name.
okay, because
I should know
I
this.
mean, I used to wrestle in high school, so I'd be okay with that. But if it's Hulk Hogan, because I've met a couple WWE guys in real life, either way, I may be a fan. But I'm very curious now. This is
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that one because
okay.
I don't
No problem.
remember.
No problem. Well, whoever it is, that's the second campaign. I'm renaming North High School after that wrestler. We gotta break this up. North, East, West. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you were in high school, what were your plans? What did you think you were going to do out in this world?
I definitely thought I was gonna be a veterinarian.
Whoa,
I know that's pretty high up there, but I don't know. I just always loved animals growing up, and I
yeah.
figured, if I could do some good, not in people, maybe animals, which people love. So I thought that's what I was gonna do. And then that obviously didn't happen, and life had other plans. So
What kind of animals did you have growing up? Please tell me you had something at least exotic.
nah, I was pretty normal. The normal cat and
Uh-huh.
dog.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm disappointed because when you said that, the first thing I thought is, nah, she wasn't going to be a real veterinarian. Here's where my mind goes, Gabby. It's the mob of California.
Mm.
Just stay with me. They got a guy. His name is Donnie, and he just got shot in a shootout in a back alley over in Santa Monica. And we can't go to the hospital because the heat is out there. So they bring him to our insider, Gaby Ramirez, the veterinarian. She'll take the bullet out and she'll keep it hush. And like, are you disappointed in me now that that's where my mind went?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. It sounds a
yeah,
lot
I got a
cooler,
problem. I, yeah, I projected
Love the
that to
imagination,
you.
though.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, keep it on a hush, girl. Don't tell nobody because Donnie, they need to know. Okay, so you got out of high school and college, like, was the first thing it was the plan. You still went. What
Yep.
what happened there? I want to know where you wanted to go, where you did go, and why you went there. So curious.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, so obviously my parents immigrated here, so I am first
Oh, didn't know
generation.
that.
Yeah. So they've been here for a very long time now. And so, the American dream was always kind of what was sold for them to come
Yeah,
here. So they wanted a better life for me.
yeah.
And that was, what society sold you was, you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job
Hmm.
and, good money. So I went to college immediately after high school,
Oh,
not really knowing what I wanted to do. I mean, I think I had an idea, obviously, the whole medical thing, if that didn't work out. Um, Disney was always, the brand that you grew up with. So I was like, oh, well, I really like art and, creating stuff. And maybe one day, I'll be an animator or something.
Oh,
Yeah. So I went to Channel Islands. CSU Channel Islands was my first school I went to.
yeah,
Did that for 2 years. And then halfway through, and I'm going to art school. Like I'm taking a lot of art classes. So my major was illustration.
yeah.
And so I took some animation classes, some illustration classes, life drawing, really cool, really enjoyed it. But then I was like, you know what if this doesn't work out? And what if it's like competitive out there or I don't get a job immediately after college? Like, what am I going to do? So then I decided, you know what? And it's funny that I went back to this because coming out of JROTC out of high school, I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like, I'm never like, screw the military. It's just so time consuming. And like, I dedicated so much time in high school and like lack of sleep and like all those other things. But then junior year, I was going into my junior year in college and I'm like, you know what? I should do something with my life. Like I should do something that gives back to, the country. Not that I owed it anything, but something to kind of make my mark here and just deserve to be here, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't I just do ROTC? Why don't I just go to the military, do my part, and say that I gave back in some way, shape, or form, whether that be time or influence. So I sought out the ROTC program, and at the time, it was only offered at CSUN. So since I was part of the CSU, I was able to transfer. So I went to CSUN and I talked to, the instructors. I'm like, hey, like I'm looking to transfer. Like, is there anything you can do to help me out? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Like, let's just fill out the application and you'll be transferred tomorrow, basically, is what they told me. So I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I didn't realize this was going to be so quick. Like, I was serious, but like now it just became like really real that this is what I'm doing. So I transferred and, it was closer to home. And so I could commute back and forth if I wanted to. But yeah, and then I joined. So I did the last 2 years of my college degree at CSUN. And it was tough. It was a lot tougher than I expected. Still taking the art classes because they said, all you got to do is get a degree. So I was like, don't gotta tell me twice, I'll keep my art degree and, finish it out that way. But yeah, so.
No, there's no way. Don't be offended. Art Geek is a rough and tough ROTC. Like, they do push-ups and run for miles. Ain't none of your art homies doing that. Y'all are supposed to be not that. Like, you're supposed to wear tie-dye shirts, have a mohawk, and a bunch of bracelets all over the place on your ankle, on your wrist. I know there was no one else that was an art major in ROTC with you, right?
Nope. And I was so jealous of them because, they show up to class at like 11 a.m. and I'm like, I've been up for 5 hours now. And I'm staying till like 8 p.m., to take some classes. And yeah, I was definitely jealous because I didn't get the real experience, I guess. But
okay, while we're on that, you seem like an awesome person. How high did you rise in ROTC? Did they make you El Jefe? Did you did you have to sweep up after everybody? Like, how did it go for you?
Nah, definitely not. I was like, I feel like the most hated person there because I think I like slid in. Yeah, I got along with some people, but I think it was the competitive kids that were like, I'm going active duty and like I'm doing this. I'm like, dude, relax. Like, it's not that serious. Like
yes.
I got class after this. I'm sure you do too. Like, it's no big deal. Like, so I think it was my mentality of like, this is cool. And like, we don't need to try so hard. Like we do, but it's not that serious. Like, so.
It's funny you say that because a lot of the people that I know that did ROTC, they've wanted their whole lives. Some of them didn't get into West Point. So now they're here and sad about it. So they're taking it out in the rest of the world. And I got to overachieve here and make West Point mad that they didn't take me. And then you
Yeah.
you said to yourself, then you slide in like, man, I'm just here because I
Yeah.
just kind of thought of it, and now I'm here. And they're like, I hate you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew I was
Yeah.
gonna join the guard and I knew I was gonna, so I was already set. So it wasn't that big of a deal for me, I guess,
No
but
stress. I think we all need that sometimes, though. I think we all, you know what? They might have needed you. I don't know if someone took a chill pill because they saw Gaby chill, but well, it's good for you because you
right.
said yourself you might have transferred that to someone, at least in one or two instances, the thoughts of, bro, at the end of the day, whether you're guard, reserve, or active duty, we all gonna become lieutenants. It's all
Yep.
right.
And we'd be
And
deployed to the same places.
thank you. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I get that. Now let's go back. Art major, yo, girl. I want to know because I'm a little bit of an artist, so I got 4 tattoos. One here, one on my chest, one on the other pec, and I drew them all. So I thought I had skills,
Nice.
but I don't have a degree in it. So I've done some murals here and there. I got a mural in Oklahoma. Of all the places where I had free range, I got murals I got multiple walls in Oklahoma. That tells you how small time I am. So if you're ever going through Oklahoma, you can see my work. Which brings me to the question, where your stuff at? What did you do with that? Did somebody walk around with your tattoos, or is there something we need to check? Matter of fact, this is a shameless plug moment. How could we see your work? Did you stop?
You know, I do it here and there. I haven't really stopped. I'm pretty like critical of myself. I'm pretty hard on like what I do, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
I do have a website, and I post some of my stuff there.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I do just side projects here and there. Like I make t-shirt designs for people that ask for it, do some designs for work. I make some stickers here and there. And just kind of anybody that I guess figured out what I do,
Yeah. Yeah.
asked for pieces of me and things like that. So yeah, nothing too serious. No tattoos yet on anybody, but I'm sure that's coming.
Yeah, I've done a couple tattoos for some guys, and in hindsight, at the time, I was just kind of like, yo, happy to help you out. But now I need to have business cards and put that out there because someone put my art on their body. They got it for the rest of their lives, and I'm pretty proud of that. So if someone's like, have you been published? Have you done this? I'll be like, well, I know a couple guys that are at Fort Bragg that got my tattoo on them. So, I mean, there's that. I got living art, living tapestries. I don't know, man. The more I talk about this, the better I
That's
feel.
pretty cool.
I know. I'm very proud of it. So let me just ask you one other little thing here about this. What's your favorite medium? So do you like chalk? Do you like paints? Are you pencil and pad? Are you pen? Like, what do you like as your favorite?
I absolutely hate paint, but
Oh,
I have recently grown to love it. That's only because it's like paint strokes are kind of permanent, and so whatever you put down is hard to go back and work into if you want to
yeah,
change it later.
yeah.
So it's just really frustrating and time consuming. So you gotta have a lot of patience for it. And sometimes I don't have a lot of patience, so I don't care for it as much. Um, I think I would say my favorite lately has been probably just the traditional pen and paper or pencil and paper.
Yeah.
Just something, even though it's simple and you can erase it or you can change it, it's just, I guess, the authentic basics of it. It's just really
Yeah.
nice. Um, and then my second choice would probably be digital, of course, because we're surrounded by digital media and live in a
Yeah.
digital world. So it's
Yeah.
very convenient to just grab my iPad and be able to sketch with it, draw with it. And there's apps out there that make it look like it is pen and paper, or it is pencil and paper, or charcoal and paint.
Oh.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to just have that convenience to be able to do.
I was an art student. I probably should have led with that. I
No way.
remember the oh yeah. I remember the first time we had a live model.
Mm,
That blew my mind. I was professional, but it was tough. It was tough
yeah.
because I felt like it was a female, and I felt like I was shy for her or embarrassed
Mm,
for her. She was an older lady, and I also felt like she turned and was facing me. Like,
mm.
of all the people in here, it was a big circle. Like, why you looking at
Yep.
me, girl? I
Yeah.
gotta make eye contact. I was trying to hide behind my easel, tag it, look at her. Oh man, like it threw me off. But I did good work.
I'll have to
Live
say that was like
models.
my,
You
yeah.
your favorite?
Yeah, I really enjoyed life drawing. I'm not sure why. It was just something so beautiful about just the simplicity of it, of
Oh,
I guess the human body and just
yeah,
shapes and how everything kind of comes together. So
yeah.
yeah, it was really relaxing for some reason. Sit there for 3 hours and draw this person.
Isn't it of all the people I've met in my life? I know this is gonna sound weird, but I just want to say it, Gabs, because you make me feel comfortable. Those are some of my favorite people in this world. Just think of it. I don't know why they're in there, but they are in there. They're so comfortable with who they are as people and their bodies. And literally, it's like, hey, what pose y'all want? I'm here for it. And tough enough to
Yeah.
like control their bodies. Like, I know they gotta take bathroom breaks, but they just like tough it out. They
Yeah.
don't complain. I don't remember them like, hey, can I have some water? I'm a little parched. Like it just they're just phenomenal people to participate. I like them.
Definitely.
They're on my top list
Yeah.
because I like people that are confident, good self esteem. That's
Yeah.
where I like to go with it. All right, so while we're on that, I remember it was a live model and I was killing it. I think it was a charcoal day, but I was killing it. And I remember my instructor came over and wiped the whole thing. He was like, "This is amazing. This is the best work I've ever seen you do." And I was like, "Yeah, son, I can't wait for everybody to see this." Because, people overhear that. The next thing I know, now do it again. Bro,
Oh no.
I'm I'm not a violent dude, but this dude, he's gonna have to knock me out because I was gonna try to take his head off. But what he said, and I think he saw me getting heated, he was like, first of all, you do it once, you could do it again because you're just proving that it's in you. And at that time, I was like, okay, OG. At that point, I'm gonna draw you like 4 different things right now. You like I was
Right.
so motivated. And I've carried that with me through the rest of my life. As an artist, you said you're kind of hard on yourself. Does that change you hearing this? Has someone ever told you that? Could that help you? Or that still would never help you? What are your thoughts on what he told me?
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair. Like, I'd probably have the same reaction as you. I'd be pissed. Like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me? But
Yeah.
that is a good lesson. Like, you did it once, like you totally are capable and you have it in you to do it again. And yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I know I'm capable, I guess, and I guess I've just always heard people not criticize, but give feedback on my work of like, this is really good, or like, you have the potential. But I guess I'm just realistic. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
know I've seen other work out there and I've seen what other people can do.
Yeah.
But I got to remember to tell myself that, it's just me versus me. Like, I shouldn't be comparing myself to anybody else. And
Yo,
more so
Gabs.
just improving.
I'm sorry I jumped on top of you there, but Gabs, I think in our pre-episode conversation, I said something to you, and it doesn't matter about our history, but I know, like even right now, what does it matter, Gabs? Like if we're commissioning you for a piece, yo, we asking for Ramirez special. Like, we just want the best that you could do because we want your interpretation of it. So how the hell can it be better? It's only what you make, and that is the best.
That's true.
Anything else you do is different. So
Yeah.
when it comes to an artist like you, especially if I'm coming to you asking for something, it can't be no better. Or how can someone critique it? This literally is how I was feeling on today, the 25th of February. Boom, this is what I did. And I think it's such a rare item because this is to never be duplicated. It is her interpretation on this day. Even if it's a wrong stroke, if you made the head look a little too long, maybe that person did have a big head and you just kind of wanted to just kind of extenuate that because, you had a long head, bro.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, if I pass that along to you, what say you for the future, or does it go in one ear and out the other? So curious.
No, it definitely stays with me. So I actually recently did do a very huge piece that I've never done before. It was about a 96 by 40 inches.
Yeah.
And so it was multiple canvases. And, thinking about it at first, I was like, yeah, like, I totally want to do this. Like, I've always wanted to do a really large piece, but I hate paint. But I'm like, maybe this will teach me something. Like, maybe this is just the perfect time to just chill and figure this out. And I learned a lot of lessons along the way of, wrong strokes. And I was like, well, and then I'd get pissed at certain times and I'd put the paintbrushes down and then come back to it days later. So yeah, I can definitely see that. And how whatever you create, I mean, there may or may not be another version of that, but there will only be that one version.
Yeah.
So once I was completely done with it, it was just a sense of relief and, joy of what I created. And sure, I'm still a little critical of certain pieces where I'm like, man, I wish I could have done this or I should have done that instead. But overall, I mean, it's like you're not going to get another one of this. Like, so it's just really cool. I'm no famous person, but, it's just cool that there's only one of this out there. And it was created by me. So a person that has that piece is very lucky to have it.
I bet this happens a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong. My name's Donnie. I got this friend Gabs. She's an artist. I dial her up. Yo, Gabs, can you draw a picture of me? Does that happen a lot? Like once people know you got skills, like everybody and their mom and their aunt was like, hey, could you make me a t-shirt? Could you do a mural?
Totally.
What happens there? Is that a compliment? Is it a curse? I feel like we respect you and you're the artist we can touch. But I want to know how it hits you.
It's weird because I'm like, well, you're only reaching out to me because you found out I can do this one thing, right? Like, but at the same time, it excites me because I'm like, like I don't do this every day. So of course I want to do this small project for you. Like that sounds cool. So I don't mind it as much. It doesn't really bother me. Just kind of cool that somebody wants to have something made by me, and they're coming to me even though I'm not exploiting myself or I'm not putting myself out there on the internet. So that's pretty cool.
All right. So you give me a piece of art. Do you get to give me rules after you give me that art? Here's an example. Back on the East Coast, I don't know if it took off on the West Coast where you're from, but there was a point where we used to have drawings on our jeans, like Bart Simpson and Snoopy and Woodstock and I don't know. I'm trying to remember some of the things, but like we used to have that, and so it was like homeboys on your drinks on your jeans. So like Bart was looking at you like, yeah. Would you do something like that first? And then second of all, I feel like whatever I do with that, or if I give it to someone else. So yeah, would you do something like that? And two, when you give us your art, do you give us rules?
I don't think there's rules. I mean, other than I guess don't try to go sell it for money because I could have
Yeah,
had
that's
that
probably a
money,
good
you
one.
know, I could have
Yeah.
done it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no real rules other than that. Like I don't care if you give it away to somebody or somebody else enjoys it in their home or their clothing or whatever the
Hmm.
case may be, but I would say that's probably my only rules. Just don't make more money off of it. I could have done, I
Right. I
guess.
didn't even think of that. No, I wish I would have. I live in America, a capitalistic society, and I didn't think of that first. Because one of the things I was wondering is, like, what if my girlfriend likes some jeans? And she's like, yo, those are hot. Let me have that. And then I give it to her. Or my
Mhm.
mom is like, oh, I really like that. Can I have it? And I just give it away. But I think as an artist, when you come over for like my Super Bowl party, you walking all around my crib like, where's that? I know I did something for him. Where is it? Bro, where's my stuff? Did you stuff it in a trunk somewhere because you're not proud of it? Oh, I gave it away. What you mean you gave it away? Oh no, not like I did. I hate. You see what I'm saying? I feel like
Yeah.
it could get uncomfortable. That's why I asked. So now that I say all that, you did say it's okay. Those who were listening, like we give it away, as long as we don't sell it, we give it
Yeah,
away
I
to
mean,
get somebody else.
I'm cool with it. I guess
Okay.
it's probably the wrong mentality to have because I went straight to like money and like business, but like, you know, like if my stuff is gonna end up like on a website or like somebody's like, I don't know, app or something, like, and it's gonna be seen by the world, like I kind of want
Hey,
in on that, you know?
it's so funny. I just did an episode. Actually, no. So it's going to be two episodes before this one. Shameless plug. But anyway, there's these two gentlemen that are doing a collabo. There's an exhibition that they got here in Texas. It just started Friday night. And one is a younger guy from Houston, Texas, and he grew up a fan of the older guy. And then they finally
Mm.
get to work together now. And the younger guy, and I'm giving away a little bit of the episode, but he was just like, this was my idol. And then when I got in there next to him and I saw he's so prolific. And it made me want to work harder because I was like, there's no way this old guy's going to do more work than me. So for you, I'd like to know maybe what some of your influences are when it comes to your art. And what are those art habits? Are you going ROTC, junior ROTC all in? Or, man, I get to it when I get to it because this is a different method. So, kind of curious. So, first, what are your influences? Music?
Um, yeah, I'm very music oriented. I'm very like lyrics. I love the songwriters more than I love, you know, the actual people that sing the music. Because there's always so much behind that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely that. I mean, I do follow a lot of digital illustrators too, and I'm very into like the simplistic, minimalistic stuff.
Oh.
Just because I feel like I myself am very minimalistic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I like to follow like the people that create things that are simple. And maybe that's just because I myself overcomplicate things in my life always.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to creating art, it's easier and it feels better to just create something small, something simple, and something just clean cut.
Yeah.
Where it's even if it's simple though, there could be so much meaning behind it. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you know when you see a logo, like it's that like
Yeah.
not so much like insider joke, but almost to that point of, you know, if you know why this logo was created or why this piece was created and like the story behind it all, it's just really cool to see that and to experience that and know the full story and how something became full circle.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely simplicity for me.
You're a good follow on TikTok. I enjoy it. We're gonna plug some social media. Well, I mean, you could do it anytime you want, but I'm gonna ask for it at the end either way. But we always seeing you like in the middle of the ocean on a surfboard. What you running
Oh
from?
man.
Or do you just like surfing?
Yeah, you know, I recently got into surfing. A friend taught me how, and first time I went out, I was terrified. Mind you, I'm not a very good swimmer. I did have
Hmm?
to learn how to swim. was a requirement to join the army.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't consider myself very strong, so not very confident either. But I started traveling a lot for work, and one of the unfortunate places I had to go to was Hawaii for work.
How dare
So
they?
I know, right? It's terrible. So a friend taught me how to surf when I was out there, and I was like, man, this whole time, like, I hope he forgets. Like, I don't want to go out there. I want to do this, and it's new, and I've never done it before. But at the same time, I'm like, fuck, I'm so scared, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen if I fall in there and I forget how to swim, and game over. But we did it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. And
Oh,
although it didn't get up the first time, like, it was cool. It was a cool experience. So after that, I caught the bug, and now, I'm not a pro, but it's just nice going out in the water. And I'll say warm water because California has freezing cold water. So I don't know. It's just nice to go out there with a board and, focusing on getting up and catching a wave and not worrying about anything else that's on land. Like, you have no phone out there, maybe you'll have a watch on you, but you're not thinking about anything else. Like, you just drown everything else out. So it's just really nice to do. So I guess you can say that my whole social media is filled with surfboards and surfing for the past 2 years because of it. But it's been really nice. Yeah.
You got a wetsuit?
No, we're working on that.
Wait a minute. So you're out there toughing it out when it is cold?
I mean, out in California it gets cold, so I don't go out there. I mostly go tropical waters, so Hawaii, Costa Rica. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We'll get there though. We'll graduate to the cold water eventually.
You know what? Up until now, you were sounding like a very cool around the way person. But what you mean Costa Rica? Like, you've done some traveling. That's really cool. I've never been to Costa Rica. I don't know why I've gone to Europe way too many times, and I never really take the fun in the sun. You just reminded me. I want to go to Belize. What am I doing here?
Should do
Thanks
it.
a lot. Now you brought me down. Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's back up here. If you're gonna start surfing, you're supposed to come over to the East Coast where I'm from, girl. I used to surf. What? We don't get big stuff unless it's a tropical storm. You went to Hawaii. Yo, Hawaii has like 7-8 foot stuff. You ever did something that big?
Oh, heck no, man. No way. Not yet.
Okay. All right.
I'll never say never, but like, I don't know that I'll ever go out there. Like, pipeline, like, that stuff's crazy. I don't know that I'll see myself out there.
What's the biggest you think you've been on?
Probably like 3 feet, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Yo, I'm there with you. Matter of fact, I'll probably be on the beach telling everybody, hey, that's my buddy right there. Rocking a 3 foot. But can't nobody rock a 3 foot like she rocked it. Hey, and look at this tattoo. She did that too. See, I'd be like your biggest fan. Got people watching you, clapping. You would feel like you was in the surf competition by the time I'm done.
Right.
That's my buddy. That's my buddy. She drew that. Oh, yeah, I told you that? Okay, my bad. So, all right. Let's go back to something. I did ask you before if anything was off limits, but you dropped something, and I'm just curious. I'm just curious. So you said it's like an open book. You said your parents came here from another country? Where are you from? Where's your lineage? Wait, let me guess. Egypt.
Totally. You got it right on.
The Ramirez took me there. It sounds Egyptian. I figure I'm joking, listeners. Oh my gosh. People are like, man, he's an idiot. No, but so yeah, where's that lineage? Where'd they come here from?
My mom came from El Salvador and my dad came from Mexico. And they actually met here in California and LA.
Had to, because they ain't even supposed to get along. Am I right?
Yep.
Some of the niños are like, well, first of all, I am not Mexicano. Oh, hey. So, wait a minute. Your mom was Salvadorian, right?
Mhm.
What them pupusas like? What them pupusas like? Your mom got
Oh
skills?
man. Man, I wish my mom does not know how to make them, and it's
Oh,
so disappointing. I'm like, the one skill you should have had.
that's
Yeah,
why you were in junior ROTC, because there wasn't no food in the house because your mama can't
right.
cook.
Yep.
You needed school
Said I'm out.
lunch.
Yep.
That's cool. And so, wait, how'd they meet? I'm so curious because okay, how'd they meet? Let me just start there at 4.
I don't know if I've ever asked for like specifics, but I
Oh,
know I know, and it's kind of on me that I should have asked. I mean, there's still time, but
yes, you are. There
um,
is.
I know they met, and my mom was fairly young. She was like early 20s when she
Yeah.
met my dad. My dad was like a lot older at the time. I think he was like
Hmm.
in his 40s. But they met in LA somewhere. I
That's
can't
cool.
remember exactly where. No.
Yeah. Have you been back to where either one of them are from?
Yeah. When I was a kid, when I was little, I used to go to both places all the time, actually. It was kind of like a summer
Oh,
thing.
this is what I
Yeah.
was
And
hoping for. What's the best?
then
El Salvador or
which
Mexico?
one?
Go say it
Man,
with your
that's hard.
chest. You're gonna make one of the
I
parents mad if they listen to this episode.
I know they're gonna hate me. No, I think I'd have to go with Mexico.
Yo, really?
Yeah. You can't beat tacos, man.
Oh.
You
Was he
know?
from? Is he coastal? At least was it coastal for him, or was he over there in Mexico City, inland?
No, he was from a small place or small town called Ario de Rosales, which is a little inland. It's not very coastal, but it's not like capital either. So,
Oh, okay.
um, yeah, it wasn't like super poor, but not like super rich either.
Yeah,
Kind of in between. So it was, it was comfortable,
yeah.
small little town. El Salvador, where my mom was from, it's hot, like ridiculously hot, because it's like near the
Ugh.
equator. So
Yep.
I just remember hating it when I was a kid because it's just always hot. Like it never cools down. And it was always like far from the city. And, it's kind of, I don't want to say they live in poverty, but it is a lot, less as far as what they have less in their
Yeah,
homes in the
yeah.
town. But people are comfortable with it. I mean, they sell like corn tortillas for a living kind of thing.
Hmm.
But so I wouldn't say I hated it. I just, Mexico is a little more comfortable, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's why I prefer it, especially as a kid, like not knowing
Hmm.
any better, I guess. Yeah.
So it sounds like you travel at least over in this hemisphere. So then I gotta know, money is no object. You drew me an amazing pair of jeans that made me so popular. I was featured on a couple of magazines. I didn't give you a shout out or nothing. So the least I could do for feeling bad for that is I give you like a limited amount of money. Where are you going to visit with that? I'm covering
Man,
everything. So money is no object, but you only get to go to one place. Where are you going to go?
dang. I mean, definitely somewhere tropical and warm. I hate the cold.
Okay.
Um, I want to pick something or somewhere I've never been.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm, that's
I
tough. You're
like it.
asking the hard questions.
Yeah. Some smoke is rising from her head for those who aren't looking at this
I
on YouTube. I like
don't
it.
know. I think I haven't been to Puerto Rico, so I definitely want to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like Brazil. I haven't done that
Ooh,
either.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like that. Oh my
lots of.
gosh, I like that one. You're gonna take your board with you. I've seen some amazing Brazilian surfers. So yeah,
Yeah,
just take the
lots
board.
of
Take the board with you.
hiking,
Oh yeah, you're right.
hiking and stuff.
How about
So
that
I
too?
definitely like the outdoors and,
Yeah.
simple, don't need
Yeah.
much. But
Okay. Here come. I don't think this one's hard, but I don't ask this to everyone, but I'm gonna do
mm,
this one to you. You get to have dinner 5 people, dead or alive. Who you inviting?
Man, that is hard too. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Jeez.
See, I was just warming you up with all the nice stuff. Now the hard stuff is here.
Man, that's like there's so many people to choose from.
I know. I like it.
I feel like you definitely have to meet like Michelangelo, just because.
No one's
I
ever
don't
said
know,
that. I like that.
like how did this guy get so famous? And like why? Or
Yeah.
maybe he was famous. He's famous now, and not so. Maybe he was hated before. You know.
Right?
I think I'd want to meet with maybe like whoever, and I'm terrible at history, but like whoever Hitler's like right hand person was. Whoever, like,
Ooh.
you know, like the guy that nobody knows about,
Yeah.
but he was behind all the ideas or like all the operations as to like what he did, you know, during his
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, that's a
that guy's
good one.
not famous, you know?
Right.
Like there's always somebody behind
Yep.
who did everything.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Let's see, who else? Probably a celebrity. You know, gotta have a celebrity at the table.
Oh, wait, you got to say it. That way we could judge you with whoever you say. We'd be like, that's who she cared? So who's that celebrity? You've only done 2. We got 3 left. So who's this celebrity?
All right, we're gonna do 2 celebrities. So definitely gotta do Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know. I'm just a
Really?
huge fan of her and how far I know she had like some issues with acting and everything else. So you got a lot of flack for you know, part of her nude shoots and stuff. So
Okay.
but I know she came out of that. So I'm just kind of curious, I guess, to see
Mhm.
what she brings to the table, where she is now.
2 left.
And definitely maybe Emma Stone. She's gotten pretty high up there recently, and you know, a
Yeah.
recent film kind of got her a lot of feedback, and it
Mhm.
was really cool of her to do. She came out of her comfort zone and did something really incredible. So
Mhm.
just
Okay.
respect her
1
for
left.
that. Shoot, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. So that's the hard part because you got like this last person and then like a honorable mention. So then you're trying to figure out how do
Yeah.
I put which one in? You've already named some people. Sometimes you're wondering, do I come off as lowbrow or highbrow with some of the people I've used? It's a lot of pressure on this
Yeah.
last one. And then
Yeah.
I just put more pressure on you. So who
Hmm.
do you want to be that last spot? Because this
Dang.
is the person that's keeping Gandhi out or Bob
Yeah.
Marley.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah. I
all
was
looking
definitely
in through the
thinking, you know,
window like, you picked him or her? That's who
right.
you picked.
Gandhi definitely crossed my mind, and then I was like, wait, but what about like Mother Teresa? Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
so many people out there that, you know, I wish I
Right.
would have met. Man, and like then I go to like music. I'm like, what if I want to meet like one of like a famous like,
Yep.
you know, like one of the Beatles or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can make this decision. um,
Well, I'm going to save you with this next question. What music are you playing right now? You got to drive to work tomorrow. It's going to take you 45 minutes to get there. What are you turning on?
oof. Yeah, it's 45 minutes. That's tough.
And it could be like a station too. If you go with like
Yeah.
some satellite station or something, that's cool. But we want to know what you listen to.
So I'm definitely a hardcore Spotify fan. Sorry for all the Amazon, you know, Prime listeners or the Apple Music listeners.
Yep.
Definitely Spotify. I've been really into like kind of like the folk pop kind of genre lately.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Noah Kahan artist. But normally, so Spotify has this really cool thing called a day list. And what that is it ingests all of the data from songs that you listen to throughout the day and the time of day. And so what it does is it curates a playlist. And so if it's in the morning, I'll go to turn it on, and it's like, on this day, normally in the mornings, you listen to this genre, so we curated a playlist for you. So it just
Oh,
depends on the type of day. Like right now, if I click on mine, it says it's a cottagecore acoustic Sunday afternoon. Apparently, is what I
okay.
listen to. So it's pretty cool. That's kind of like my go-to default.
Yeah.
So it kind of mixes things up. If I'm not feeling that and I just want to mix it up, there's also this DJ like AI thing that they have
Uh-huh.
where it's like your own personal DJ, and it takes all of the songs you listen to and all of the genres and everything, and it mixes it up and it plays something for you based on your likes, and then it'll tell you, let's mix it up a little bit, and based on this we think you might like these songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing in particular, you know.
No, I like that. I like that you go wherever the wave carries you.
I see what you did there. Yeah,
Yeah, no
totally.
one else listening wanted me to do that. But if this is their first episode, they won't be back for another. They're like, girl, I'm glad you did that. I learned a lot. But yeah, I'm done with that guy. No, all right. So I'm very curious here then. When we start to think about who you are as a person, I just started working with you, and my cubicle is right next to yours. I'm going up to Craig over there and Brian over there, your peers who've worked with you for these last 2 years. What are Craig and Brian gonna say about you when I say, yo, what's up with Gabby? Because I'm right next to her. What do I have in store? What are they gonna say, Gabs?
I think they'll definitely say that I am pretty hard, but also really nice when you get to know me.
Oh,
I'm very particular on what I like and what I do, but
mhm.
there's always a reason behind it. So, eventually they come full circle and they understand. So, yeah, I definitely had a coworker say that, like first when I met you, like I thought you were total like bitch, but now
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, I get it. Like it makes sense. Like you're actually a really nice person. Like you're really cool.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I guess I come off a little strong. So most people when they meet me, they think, oh, like, she's a female, like totally take advantage of her. Like she's nothing, like whatever. And then, they meet me and like sometimes I don't know, maybe I intimidate them a little bit, but
Oh, hey,
it
that's a them
so
problem. You just being you.
exactly. Yep.
And then once they
So,
learn what has changed? Nothing.
right.
You just learned more about me. You shouldn't have been so quick on the front end
Yep.
trying to put me in a little glass box. All right.
Yeah.
We don't have much longer. I owe everyone social medias. If people, you might have got some new fans. I'm hoping you'll distribute this in your circle. But if there's people outside of your circle and now they're like, well, he says she was a good follow on TikTok. Let me see what she's working with. How can people find out more? I know you said you had a website. Even when I edit this, I'm gonna write it down, and I'd like to go to the website, see some of your work, because that's new information to
Yeah.
me. So how could we stay in touch with some social media stuff?
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely have an Instagram for my art that I don't really update, but once I do, stuff will be on there.
Mhm.
But the handle for that is Art X Gabby, so Art by Gabby, and that's one B, not two.
Yeah.
And I can lead you to my website, which is also artxgabby.com. If you want to follow there, and my TikTok too. My handle there is going to be Gabster_10. That's with 3 R's at the end.
Hmm.
Sure you can find that and check out all my, little videos that I make as a hobby and bring me a little bit of happiness.
No, I think,
But
man, you've done some
yeah.
great work there. I
Oh,
enjoy
thank
it.
you.
I
Yeah,
I
it's
need
a
to
little
spend
fun
more
thing.
time on my TikTok. I go there, I post my stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't scroll, but if it shows me whatever their algorithm is, if it shows me one or two of you, I do it. But I don't dive down the hole. I like to think I'm all busy, but I do like your stuff though. But there was a hammock one. Am I right? There was a hammock.
A hammock?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, probably my Costa Rica trip. Yep, yep.
Yep. I'm telling you. See, how about that? Of all the people in all the world, I'm a fan. Remember, I'm the guy on the beach gathering people to watch you ride that way.
Yep,
And
yep.
tell them about the tattoo. So I'm a fan. All right,
Thank
Gabs, before we go, this is, I think I do this pretty regularly. I believe in 6 degrees of separation. And what I want to know is who in your life is an interesting person that you would help me get on this pod? They don't have to be famous. If they are, that's cool. They don't have to be rich. If they are, that's cool. But like, is there someone at work that's like, man, that dude is so interesting. He's so smart. Or man, that lady always, like, who is that person?
Man, I mean, working in the film industry, I meet so many like interesting people everywhere
I
from,
didn't know that's what you do.
artists.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
That's new
everywhere
information
from
to me.
artists to like, visual effects people, special effects,
Mhm.
editors, like writers. Man, I don't know that I have a particular person in mind. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just a lot of people have, various different things.
Well, here's what I can tell you for this. I had a guy who went viral. He was on The Voice. He was on
Mhm.
American Idol. He came up with his girlfriend. I had an award-winning author. He wanted me to use his mom, and I still intend to. I had a gentleman from California. He's NorCal. Don't hold it against him. He wanted his uncle, who's like 88 years old, but lived through segregation and all that stuff down in Tennessee. Man, a matter of fact, gosh, I got to make that one happen. I can't wait to hear those stories. Those are some of the things, if that helps you.
I mean, definitely, like, I guess if you want to talk more surfing,
Aw.
I guess, organization that I've gone through is called Surf with Amigas.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of female Southern California raised females that started this organization. And I believe she has a podcast as well, but the person that started it, her name is Holly Beck.
Mm-hmm.
And so what she kind of does is starts up these surfing like retreats throughout like not Southern California, Southern, like, Costa Rica. They go to Nicaragua, they go to Morocco, and what she does is partners up with like the local community, and that's how she gets the services for these retreats. So like, I think that's pretty cool. Like, she's giving back to the community and also putting on this retreat for like all of these people around the world. And you go on these retreats and you meet other people, and sometimes you walk away with lifelong friends. So
Oh, I'm intrigued.
it's pretty cool.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I will definitely be reminding you to help me get her on the pot. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. This was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to tell you this. We're going to have a little bit of a collabo at a later date, because I know a bunch of artists, and I think it would be really cool to just kind of bring you guys on. I can do a group setting here and just kind of talk. I would like, because I've interviewed these two gentlemen that are doing this collaboration here in town. This is the second time I've interviewed them, and well, I ran out of time. Unfortunately, that's on my radio show. So there's sponsor breaks and things like that. But I'm just dying to get something together. So I think you haven't heard the last of me. That's a threat. We would have to do this, because I think it would be really cool. I do a lot of speaking at high schools and with youth. And I think it is important to follow what you're interested in. And if there's one thing that family members, parents will talk you out of, it's art. People will tell you, you ain't gonna make no money and you're not gonna, but look at what you just said. Some of the things, I didn't know what you did. I wasn't gonna ask you, but now that I know what you do, and I know these gentlemen, you know how exciting that would be for youth to be able to talk about goals, to have questions for you. So anyway, that's my plan. I've got a bunch of art students that I was going to gauge some questions from and bring to all of you, and then stir up some conversations about, well, when I was in art school, when I was getting my degree, this and that. So I'm interested. I just thought I'd offer that. You don't have to commit right now. You can just do that off the air when you give me the stern no, and then I start groveling. But let's not do that here, though.
No, that sounds dope. It sounds cool.
Gabs, thanks a lot. This was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I can't believe that. That's an hour and 4 minutes gone. But I enjoyed it, and I really think our listeners are going to. So thanks for the time.
Yeah, this was fun. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks. Likewise.
Yeah.